Rituals and routines. The first thing to remember is not to expect habits. This is something that a lot of courses sort of preach, is it needs to become a habit. And that's true in that it needs to be done consistently. You need to reliably, you need to be able to rely on yourself to follow through with those rituals and routines all the time. But I think a habit gives us a false sense that it's going to be somehow an autopilot. It's not. Habits are something, like I said, it's something that you do reflexively without thinking about it. It's become that much of your behavior, like brushing your teeth. It would feel weird if you didn't do it. Whereas routines are things that are actually easy to ignore. They're things that you make it a routine so that you don't forget it, despite the fact that you normally would if it wasn't a routine that you needed to expend effort to remember to follow through on. So expect the boring work of putting the effort in to remember a routine every day, not the autopilot and that sort of false sense of security you can get from thinking about habits. So the second one is routines like chores. So making all of your chores into routines and figuring out when is the best time to do those things. So that's why I've listed eat frogs first. And what that means is just if I have something that I really want to get out of the way, then in the routine of my day, I will put that thing first so that I get the really tough stuff out of the way when I have the most energy. Sort of after I've woken up and I'm feeling good and I'm starting my day, that's the time to usually attack those really odious tasks that you don't want to do, you sort of want to skip. So make your chores into routines, lay the steps out, and decide when those are going to live in your day. Rituals are routines that you elevate and give them a special significance. Some routines that you might make into rituals are meditation, exercise. You might even be able to find a way for diet, work, and fun to be given ritual preparation to some degree. And this can help you not only perform the task with greater care and maybe have a better result more consistently, but rituals can also remind you to do that task because you take the time to honor it and its significance in helping you live the life you want to live. So ways to make things into rituals could be purifying the space beforehand, doing a very consistent sort of routine, like in Japanese tea ceremonies, they'll turn the teacup several times before drinking the tea, for instance. You could burn incense, or you could pick a meaningful time of the day, such as doing things when you wake up, or doing things just before you go to bed. If you consider the time of the day, that can give it a special significance while you're doing that, and just adhere to those same steps every time you do it. And this can be a way to elevate and improve some of your routines on their way to becoming habits. Next, we have brain fog, and this is just kind of a reiteration of what I said with eating your frogs first. This is when most people tend to have a time of the day where they start to slow down mentally a little bit, and they kind of have a lull in their ability to pay attention and engage at their peak. That's like and that's like a brain fog. So for instance, I tend to have a brain fog maybe early afternoon, just after I've eaten lunch, and I'm feeling a little more mellow, a little less able to deal with a lot of different distractions and stimuli. So this can be a good time to make the phone calls that I need to make, communicate with other people over a video chat or something of that nature, because those other people can hold you accountable, and also it's sometimes easier to engage and commit that focus when you have another person who's actively engaging you, rather than just work, which is more passive, that you have to put all the focus into that. So that can help you deal with brain fog and just be aware that it's there, and you will start to find ways to use that time in your day to do things that are best for that kind of energy. So next we have the most important one, which is check-ins. You should always be doing a morning and an evening check-in daily at the bare minimum. This is one of the most important routines and therefore one of the most important tools. The rest of this is important, but this is definitely the main takeaway for routines, is to check in with yourself at the beginning of the day. Transfer everything that's on your calendar to your checklist of things that you plan to actually accomplish that day, and consider each of your roles and what kind of time you're committing to each of these roles and how that reflects your values and really makes you feel excited to get the things done that are on your task list for that day. Then the evening check-in, or maybe check-out you could call it, sometimes I do, that's where you'll be reviewing your progress, maybe rewarding yourself with a little bit of, leisurely distraction, maybe some video games, watch a movie, something like that. And then you'll also be updating your calendar based on anything that came up throughout your day. And maybe before you go to bed, make a quick entry in your notebook, just checking in with yourself emotionally or on your overall progress, that sort of thing. So check in and check out. Set a time to do that first thing in the morning and last thing you do before you go to sleep, or right around there. And that's really going to help. That's going to be the most powerful routine for changing your life that you can possibly put into your day.